Hi there, welcome to Camping Secrets. I'm Marky Mark. I recently reviewed the amazing EcoFlow Delta 2 power station. Look up here for the review of that. We finally got some sun in the UK. It's November. Normally it's grey and miserable, but miraculously the sun has come out this afternoon. So I've rushed to grab my new 400 watt EcoFlow solar panel. I'm going to unbox it and see how much of that 400 watts we can get straight into the EcoFlow Delta 2. We'll go through the specs, the weight, the size of it. It's quite a big solar panel, but I'm excited to see how it does. Let's dig into this. Okay, first off, let's get it out of the box. So it's actually got the dimensions written here. So it's actually 115.7 centimeters by 73.5 centimeters by about 8 centimeters deep. So let's get this open. That's nicely packed up here. Oh, and the lid comes off. We've got instructions over here, silica gel, and some installation instructions. So the solar panel itself is about 16 kilograms, I believe. Comes in a little bag like this, and that's actually not too bad to carry. I found in the whole box it was difficult. At the time of filming this solar panel is about 1,000 UK pounds, which is a fairly substantial amount of money, obviously. So it really needs to do the business. So the solar panel comes in its own carry case, and then the carry case itself becomes the stand with which to lean it up so that the sun can collect on the front panels. So we're going to unwrap this now and try and set it up. So there's a zip that goes right around and then round the bottom. Is that it? And that's it. So this is a hard plastic back of the case, and then the panel is inside. Oop. That's it. So if you can then put it in that. Yeah, that doesn't. Oh yeah. So it's folded in four, and then when unwrapped, it's at least, would you say that's 2 meters or more? Maybe 2 meters long, about 2 meters, and then a meter this way. So this weighs 16 kilograms, and it's best to have 2 people, I think, to shift it around. And we got these little lug holes here on the panel, and there's these carabiners as part of the case, which you just clip in. If you can do it, I can't. And that gives a bit of play on these things, and then these act as a stand. Like that. And then you've got similar carabiners at the bottom, which go through lug holes at the bottom. And then you can play with the position of these little straps to adjust the angle. And I think this can go between 40 degrees up towards the sun to a more steeper 80 degrees, because obviously the sun changes its altitude with respect to the earth. We can just rotate it a bit towards the sun. Thank you. And then on the side of the panel, we've got these this sort of main distribution box with 2 cables coming out with MC4 connectors. And then there's a conversion cable that comes with the panel with the opposite side MC4s. Just connect those in, and then that goes to an XT60 connector which goes into the back of the power station. So we're currently getting 75 watts, which isn't crazily good for a 400 watt solar panel, but in November in the UK I wouldn't expect too much more. So earlier I had around 240 watts from winter sunshine in the UK, which was a bit more impressive, but the trick is trying to keep that sunlight on the panel as clouds and the sun moves, etc. So let's talk about the features of this 400 watt panel from EcoFlow, now that we've got it set up in a reasonable manner. So it's fabricated from ETFE, which is ethylene tetrafluoroethylene, and that's quite a hard plastic, and it's actually a waterproof plastic. So this is IP68 water resistant, so it can be submerged underwater. You can use it in the rain, and that is a godsend in the UK, where it can rain nearly every day, where it feels like it. Today, amazingly, we got some sunshine pouring down. That's why I rushed to come out and film this solar panel. So IP68, what does that mean? So there's two numbers there, 6 and 8. 6 is the maximum on a scale for dust and solid ingress. So 6 means there is absolutely no way of any dust particles getting into the panel and disrupting its performance. 8, on the other hand, is not quite at the top of the scale. 9 is the top of the water scale, so that's for water ingress. But 8 does mean this can be submerged underwater and it will carry on working. But I did contact EcoFlow and said, look, can I permanently keep this solar panel outside? And they said they don't recommend that. It can withstand showers and rain, which is great, but at the end of the day, probably best to put it back inside when you're not actually using it. I wouldn't permanently install this on a conservatory roof or on the top of your camper van or something. So the panel is pretty efficient, 23% efficiency EcoFlow claim, and that is a decent level. So it's 48 volts maximum voltage generated from the cells and 11 amps of maximum current. But the key things that I want to point out in this video is really it is tricky to set up on your own. At the time of recording this is £999. I don't like quoting prices in my videos because they do tend to change over time. So, you know, in a year or two's time, that price of $999 may be obsolete, maybe a lot cheaper, may actually be more expensive. We've got quite high inflation around the world at the moment, so I don't know what's going to happen with prices. The EcoFlow Delta 2 that I'm using here is also around the £1,000 mark at the time of writing. So the two together are about 2,000 UK pounds. But it's quite a nice setup if the sun is shining. So I've seen 270 watts today, November day, just with some afternoon sun. So I have no doubt with direct sunlight, you know, around the middle of the day, that it could get up to the 400 watts. And the Delta 2 has a 500 watt maximum input power allowable from a solar panel. So even on the sunniest day with maximum coming from this panel, it's not going to overload the input of the Delta 2. So that's great, but you wouldn't want any more than this, I think. This is probably the perfect setup with the Delta 2. So in summary, what do I make of this 400 watt panel from EcoFlow? Well, I've got to say, it's pretty impressive to be getting 270 watts on this winter's day in the UK, but it was also a fleeting 270 watts, and the steady state I'm getting is around 100 watts. And this is with pretty hot sunshine coming down. I'm sweating a bit, mainly because I've been trying to set this up. So I still have my doubts about solar, portable solar in the UK conditions. Obviously, if you're living in Arizona with permanent hot, scorching sunshine coming down, a solar panel, solar generator is a no-brainer. It's free energy. In the UK, you know, I'm still on the fence. I like the idea, but I'm not sure the price versus the payoff is totally worth it. Saying that, I do think this is a great panel, but it's a little too big for day-to-day camping, I would say. It's just a bit tricky to manhandle or woman-handle around. 16 kilograms plus 3 for the stand stroke case. And just this whole mechanism is a little bit, I don't know, Heath Robinson. I'd rather see some adjustable telescopic legs for each of these 4 panels on the back, and then we can just adjust them down. You know, like walking poles that you take hiking, something like that, which could just be planted in the ground behind and enable us to prop up the panel. I don't like the way that this just supports the middle part but not the edges, because they keep coming back. You get this bulge in the middle there, you know, and then this bit falls down. It's just a bit tricky. It might be better to have 2 200-watt panels and do them separately. So overall, do I give it the thumbs up, the Camping Secrets thumbs up? I don't know. I'd say, you know, if you're looking for an all-in-one solution, a solar solution, you're confident of getting some sunshine, then I'd go for it. I think in the UK, it's probably better to hedge your bets, maybe get a smaller panel, 200 watt. But obviously you'll get less power then. So the bigger the surface area, the higher the efficiency, the more power you get into your power station. But let's face it, we all want that free power, sort of renewable energy. I don't think there's anything better than harnessing the rays of the sun, turning it into usable power. So I think the end goal is laudable. I do think we should all be considering this sort of solar power generation for our homes and for our leisure activities. But in the UK, yeah, I do question it a little bit. Anyway, I hope you found that video enjoyable. Please like and subscribe to this video. We're going to be reviewing tons more camping gear and power stations and the like. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I've been Marky Mark for Camping Secrets. Thanks for watching. Bye.